The Navy's submarine force is unlike any other military community. It's a small, tight-knit group of approximately 20,000 active duty and reserve sailors who spend months at a time sailing deep below the waves. Between their secretive missions and their lack of contact with the outside world, the submarine community is often a mystery to those on the outside. Life on a submarine is unique, said electronics technician first class Timothy Pulowski, a submariner assigned to the ballistic missile submarine USS Wyoming, SSBN 742. You live inside a biodome that's built for sinking. Being hundreds of feet underwater and packed into a small vessel with approximately 150 other people at any given time, submariners say personal space is almost non-existent. Small berthings are spread out throughout the submarine, with some staggered between missile and torpedo tubes. Some submariners are even forced to hot rack due to a lack of space, a practice where multiple sailors must split time between the same bunk to get sleep. Working hours on board are also unique. There's no day or night, only a series of 8-hour rotations. 8 hours of standing watch, followed by 8 hours of working, maintenance, or studying, followed by 8 hours of sleep. You have to get used to not seeing the sun. When you're in your rack, that's your nighttime, said Pulowski. Submarines are vital to national defense. Capable of operating for months from the deep, these submersibles are seldom seen once they dive, resurfacing only for supplies. U.S. submarines are capable of and conduct a vast array of missions, including anti-surface and anti-submarine warfare, intelligence gathering, mine reconnaissance, land attacks, polar operations, special forces support, and defending other fleet ships. With deployments underwater typically running 90 days, life on board a submarine is anything but normal. Cramped quarters are normal, and sailors must have the right technical know-how and determination to spend months underwater at a time. To even be eligible to be a crewman aboard a submarine, applicants must pass a series of grueling tests, psychological evaluations, and intensive courses. Of course, even once qualified, serving aboard a submarine is not a walk in the park. Serving on a submarine crew takes courage, stamina, and deep expertise, literally. Get familiar with some of the sights and sounds submariners encounter during the vital missions they execute, and with the training they undergo to become ready for their jobs. America's submarines have come a long way since the first hand-cranked wooden rigs. Today's state-of-the-art vessels are able to support hundreds of sailors working and living together under the sea for months at a time. Submariners and their ships depend on each other and underway replenishments. America has 72 submarines in the fleet, including both attack submarines and fleet ballistic missile submarines called boomers. Sailors typically deploy for 90 days in these war machines. On all submarines, the first task after submersion is to ensure there are no leaks anywhere on board. Once fully submerged, life takes on an 18-hour schedule. This schedule is divided into 3 6-hour segments for sleeping, keeping watch, and spending free time. But more likely than not, the free time is spent studying or finishing work. The artificial 18-hour schedule and the lack of natural light make keeping track of time difficult. According to one sailor, you basically know the time by what type of food you're eating. If you're eating pancakes, you know it's morning, and if you're eating leftovers, you know it's midnight. Not all submarines come with enough beds or racks. To make up for this, temporary racks are sometimes housed in the torpedo room. Generally, sailors have 15 square feet for themselves and all of their possessions. Beds in submarines are sometimes referred to as coffins. Of course, most areas on the submarine are cramped. Passageways or P-ways are absolutely no exception to that. Bathrooms are essentially minimal onboard submarines, with sometimes only one bathroom for 40 men. Showers, too, are kept as small as possible to maximize space on the submarine for more vital components. Submarines still make room for comparatively large kitchens. Fresh food aboard the submarine usually doesn't last more than a few weeks. Meals for the remainder of the deployment are cooked up from a wide variety of non-perishables. Despite using a relatively small amount of ingredients, chefs still manage to cook a wide selection of favorites, including lasagna. Watch duties aboard submarines are based on both rank and specialized training. Junior personnel generally learn to stand watch at the driving sections of the submarine. Behind those driving the submarine is the con section, where the deck officer keeps watch. This is also where the submarine's periscopes are. Close to the con area is the navigation section of the submarine, where the quartermaster keeps watch. Navigation is done entirely electronically. The VMS screen helps ensure that the submarine is exactly where it's meant to be. The command launch console is the ultimate home for all the submarine's offensive weaponry. From the command launch console, all weapons are prepared and spun up from their selective tubes. A submarine's weaponry can vary from torpedoes to Trident ballistic missiles, depending on the type of submarine. Trident missiles were developed as deterrent measures to a nuclear attack. They could travel from New York to Moscow and could destroy a city as large as Washington, D.C. 12 times over. They come with both nuclear and non-nuclear warheads. Free time is often spent on the mess deck, with televisions and a complement of around 400 movies to provide relaxation for sailors. Sailors are also provided with cards and board games to both foster camaraderie and help pass the time. Subs also have a limited gym, generally small, with just one or two machines to allow sailors to stay in shape while deployed. It's not easy work, but it plays a critical role in U.S. power projection due to its long strike capabilities, ability to avoid detection, and ability to sail anywhere in the world.